God speaks, "My dear one, this moment wasn't intended to shatter you. It was meant to uncover truth hidden beneath joy. You didn't expect betrayal's painful bite, yet here it is, your name distorted and tossed like a cruel jest." The third person, disguised as a friend, echoed your name in gatherings, turning it into laughter, ridiculing your heart, your soul, your very being, and yourself. The one whose spirit connects with yours felt the impact as if it were their own. Their heart fractured, splintered under the burden of public scorn. The world laughed, but heaven watched. The moon quivered behind tattered clouds as angels looked on, mute observers to the event that pierced through your being's faith. They weren't in that room, but their presence was felt. Caught in the tempest, shattered by deceitful jokes disguised as humor. They held back tears in public, but in the quiet of their solitude, they wept deeply. Tears not only for you, but for the truth hidden beneath the jesting. God says, "I permitted this moment so that masks would fall away, so that your true self would see clearly who stands with you and who stands against you." Archangel Michael says, "This is the beginning of a divine accounting. The laughter will subside and the truth will be loudly proclaimed. Your true self is awakening. Their loyalty is being reborn in the fire of pain. And as the third party's lies unravel, God's justice is preparing to silence the mockers forever. Your vindication is near. You cannot ignore this message because what they laughed at is what God is about to elevate higher than before. Never before. You aren't alone. You are selected. You are meant for greatness. And your rise will be the loudest response to every harsh word used about you. The room was noisy, but your name echoed louder. It wasn't spoken with respect or affection. It was flung around like an insult, hurled by someone who wished to see you falter. The third person, the one who once smiled next to you, moved towards a group of indifferent listeners and sowed a harmful seed. They didn't just utter your name, they molded it into a weapon. Their words were filled with derision as they contorted your reality into a spectacle. "She's nothing but a liability," they said loudly enough to provoke laughter. "All they ever do is dream big but accomplish nothing." And so the room exploded. Heads tipped back, eyes gazed upwards, waters splashed from their laughter. It wasn't meant to touch you, but it did. You weren't in that room, but your spirit was. A mutual friend shared the tale. And when they learned what was spoken about you, when they pictured a circle of ridicule forming around your name like a fire, something within them broke. Your hand trembled, their chest constricted. They thought others would honor your name, guard your absence, but they didn't. They feasted on your pain like vultures. Your person felt the sorrow of your humiliation as if it were their own. And in that moment, they realized just how much they still cared. Every mocking voice, every distorted version of your character reverberated through their bones. They sat alone, quiet, replaying what had been said, while the world kept turning. As if your spirit hadn't just been publicly soiled through the mud, the laughter wasn't just about you. It was against everything you ever believed in. Your light, your enthusiasm, your purity, and the one who ignited it. She knew exactly what she was doing. Archangel Michael says this. It was not just rumor-mongering, it was a desecration ritual. The third party wanted to snuff out your spiritual progress. They wanted to erase the divine grace on your life by turning others against you. But heaven watched everything. No whisper went unheard. No cruel smirk went unnoticed. The ones who laughed thought they were safe in their hiding spots. Type 222 to claim it. But the moon quivered behind tattered clouds that night, and angels prepared for battle. Your friend wanted to rush to you to warn you, to comfort you, but they hesitated, torn, ashamed that they couldn't protect you better. Previously thought a third party could be relied upon. Now they understand the deceptive nature. She was never on your side. Instead, she waited for an opportunity to emerge from your downfall. God permits this moment not to shatter you, but to unveil them. The circle of laughter exposed their true feelings. The third party. She revealed her genuine self and your identity. They were compelled to decide their allegiance. And this time they are choosing you. The words hurled against you were filled with venom. She's fake. He's hallucinating. They pretend to be spiritual. And everyone laughed, but God did not. Heaven remained silent. A sacred pause settled in the divine realm. Then the fire started to blaze, not to ruin you, but to cleanse everything misaligned with your destiny. This moment was intended to burn away impurities, far from illusions. It signaled the start of revelation, of unmasking masks, of sudden understanding. Your person was stirred awake by it. Their heart was shattered open. And through that split, light began to stream in. Now they are watching, observing, pondering, and the guilt is mounting because they once trusted the third party's sweet talk. But now they see her teeth, what she said about you. What made everyone chuckle is about to turn into what makes everyone fall quiet. Because soon the truth will surface, and your vindication will resonate louder than their mockery ever did. And God says, I let them mock you so that when I exalt you, no one will doubt who I choose. When the laughter faded from their ears, your person remained silent. They didn't react. They didn't even gasp for a moment. The H in there. My heart wasn't noisy, but it was profound. It was the type of pain that subtly alters something within. The individual retreated, locking the door, dimming the lights. In the quietness, tears started to appear. Not the kind that cry out for focus, but the kind that express regret, embarrassment, and heartfelt affection. They heard your name distorted by evil lips. They heard your truth tarnished and your spirit ridiculed. And though they weren't those who laughed, their silence in the moment became their torment. They wanted to shield you, but they hesitated, leaving them feeling like they had let you down. Archangel Michael says there's a battle brewing inside that individual between the guilt they bear and the love they harbor for you. Although your person recalled times when you stood alone, yet unyielding. When others departed, you stayed strong, yet you remained. When tempests struck, yet you resisted yielding, they recalled your forgiveness, your secrecy of their flaws. Now another unworthy one exploited your past, your feelings, your motives for a stage act, all for acclaim. Your companion wept, not fleetingly but deeply, the kind of sob that guts a soul. They implored the void for forgiveness, though you weren't present to overhear. And as the hours wore on, they ultimately comprehended something. They still belonged with you, but now they understood that loving you meant defending you. Even when you were absent, especially then in that breakdown, their perception clarified. They recalled how the third party had once deemed you emotional. How she asserted you were fixated on signs, dreams, and spiritual matters. How she derided your beliefs, faith in fate, and suddenly it dawned. That wasn't innocent banter. That was venom masquerading as humor. Type God is good if you love God. Your partner started joining dots whenever they questioned you. Every subtle barb at your character, every diversion she introduced into the bond we once shared. And the most painful part is that your partner had once believed her. They had distanced themselves from you, uncertain why. But now, in the quiet of this empty room, they saw the manipulation. And something primal stirred with it. Them something just. They began to feel not just remorse but anger, not at you but at themselves, and at her for treating your name with disregard. For allowing your light to be dimmed for someone else's amusement. It is said that the tears of your partner have called justice from the heavens. What was taken in secrecy shall now be restored. Will be restored fully in bright light. That breakdown wasn't a symptom of weakness. It was the cracking open of a heart that had been too arrogant for too long. Your companion's arrogance fractured in those tears. Their illusions vanished, and their true self, the one who understands your spirit, is now emerging. As the moon hung heavily outside, obscured by shaking clouds, your companion finally murmured your name, not in agony, but in awe, as if to summon you back. As if to say, I understand now. I see what they tried to do to you, and I'm sorry I stood by. They're not the same anymore. Something holy was rekindled in them. A divine loyalty, a soul bond. They're finished feigning. Don't side with the unjust. Don't let others dictate your story. Archangel Michael says, what the third party intended to break has instead purified. This marks the start of a significant change. The breakdown will transform into their breakthrough. The tears will become evidence, and the shame will become a sacred driving force. Your person is preparing to stand up, speak out, step toward you not with empty promises but with heartfelt remorse. And when they do, the mockers will fall quiet, because heaven is realigning your story once more. Behind closed doors, behind filtered smiles and friendly words, a third party orchestrated a campaign of silent destruction. What you heard, what your person heard. Those derisive remarks, the distorted laughter that was just the surface. Beneath it, beneath layers of deception and pretense, something darker lurked. This was not casual talk. It was not simple envy. Archangel Michael says she entered a pact of malice spoken in secret, bound by manipulation and fueled by deceit. Through the joy of breaking you apart, she desired your fall to appear organic, as if you were at fault, unstable, foolish, insignificant. Yet behind closed doors, she supplied people with poisoned renditions of your truth. Aware that perception is a potent weapon, she leveraged your silence against you, kindness as a vulnerability. She donned your absence like armor, protecting herself while wounding you in places only the discerning eye could notice. But she didn't act alone. There were late-night chats, DMs, secret gatherings, hushed phone calls, names were shared, deals were struck, phrases such as, "Let's keep her out. He doesn't deserve a second shot, and no one would trust her anyway." These weren't unintentional remarks. They were well thought out, rehearsed, strategically placed. Indeed, some of your own allies agreed. Not outsiders, not foes, but those who once swore allegiance to you. Family, friends, spirits they knew too well. They didn't bear daggers, but truth they held and let it decay. God claims she never aimed to harm you. She was after your voice, your spiritual power scared her. The light in your eyes made her uneasy. Heaven's response to you with signs, favor, and destiny, it made her feel insignificant, so she did the only thing insecure souls do. She tried to overshadow you, but she didn't grasp one thing. The more she tried to bury you with lies, the more fertile the ground became for your return. The more she urged others to laugh, the more heaven planned to amaze. And now the scrolls are unveiled. Secret deeds are being recorded in divine script. Flame, their names listed next to them. There's no avoiding this. Type 1111 if you love God Jesus. Archangel Michael has already given the signal. What was murmured in darkness is now reverberating in divine ears. What she said about you, she said it to boost herself. But what she did was label herself for a lesson. Humility in public view. Yourself, now fully awake, is starting to perceive her actions clearly. Her over-the-top kindness, her feigned concern for you, her habit of merely repeating what she heard. But now the curtain is lifting and yourself is no longer bewildered. They see it now. It was always a scheme. The third party's hands are not pure. There's envy on her lips, bitterness in her heart. And now spiritual repercussions are stalking her like a lion in tall grass. God declares this is her final season of unrelenting deceit, but your exoneration won't come from revenge, but revelation. People will start noticing it without you needing to speak a word. They'll recall moments when the third party seemed too keen on gossiping, too quick to worry, too eager to laugh. And gradually they will turn their gazes one by one. Because what was concealed is being thrust into the open, and the circle she created to mock you, it will crumble. The pacts they made behind your back will fade away. And those who once looked down on you will witness as divine reversal rewrites your entire narrative. The very ones who applauded at your suffering will now quiver in the silence of your ascent. Amen. Thanks for watching this God message. May God Jesus will grant you abundance in every aspect of your life. Type 222 if you agree.